Hey everybody, this is Sebastian from California Street Cannabis Company, back to you again with one of our live sessions, keeping our consumers, our customers, our friends, all of you on the internet connected with the brands that we carry and our favorite people that we work with. Today we have the opportunity of speaking with Legion of Bloom, who is a great collective of group of people from Northern California that have a wide variety of products that we're very proud to carry. And we're also announcing, our affiliation with them of our Legion Cares program, which is a compassion program that is something we care very much about. Making sure that cannabis is accessible and that everyone, whether you have the money to purchase it at top shelf price or not, has access to it. So really excited about that. I just saw Legion of Bloom sign on, so I'm going to go ahead and invite them to the chat, and we can get this conversation going. Hey, what's up, man?
Sebastian, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How's your day?
No complaints, man. Just Zoom calls and hanging out at the office, which is kind of nice. It's been good to engage with the team over here from time to time. So
That's cool. Where is your office at?
we're based in Santa Rosa, so we got our administration is right above our manufacturing, our distribution. We got a pretty core team, about 30 employees here. That I try to give as much value to them as possible whenever I can. Whenever I'm not doing the marketing stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, welcome to the world of Zoom and everything, which is exactly why we're here, just to go over it for anybody that's new to these conversations. My name's Sebastian. I help with brand education and brand partnerships. And, we started doing these live sessions kind of leading up to the week of 420. And they had a great impact because people tuned in, and it really gave people a platform to learn more about the brands we carry, not just come into the store and see it on the shelf, but have conversations with people that actually work with the company and that have been with them and learn about the story. So today we're talking with Legion of Bloom. This is Troy, everybody.
hey guys.
And he's coming to us straight from their office in Santa Rosa. So yeah, man, tell me a little bit about your day. What are you guys doing at the shop?
We're talking about we're actually doing this. We're going over a presentation piece, but we used to do a lot of staff education stuff, as you know, like on site with the brands, and we're kind of moving to a model where we're going to do a lot of more webinar based Zoom, so basically Zoom based educational presentations. I think it's going to make the process a lot more scalable and a lot more. It's going to still be as engaging, but it'll kind of allow us to kind of keep that social distancing that's kind of needed right now. So it's a big lift. It's a big project we've been working on for the last couple, I'd say last 30 to 60 days to really get dialed in. But we're really excited to roll it out with everyone, including California Street. So expect your bud tenders to get some premium educational content from
Yeah.
from the Legion of Bloom. So.
Yeah, well, that's something I've actually seen. As all of this kind of started to unfold in March, I was like, oh man, do I really have to do everything on Instagram? Because I'm a very in-person, everything I've done is creating in-person experiences. Like our
100%.
our store is very much developed and designed to be a comfortable neighborhood, somewhere you want to come and hang out and roll a joint and talk with our bud tenders. I've also managed, and I've been a brand ambassador for oil companies and for vape oil companies, not oil companies, and for flower companies. And the days of lugging around a bag full of gear and a drop down panel and a setup booth and putting on the polo shirt and hopefully being able to get engaged with 5 to 10 people that walk through the door. I'm actually really stoked now. I've come around to it that we can have these conversations and we can get this information in front of hundreds of people and not just, be based off of, okay, I have the 2 to 4 o'clock slot on a Wednesday. I'm not going to see anybody at that store. So this digital education platform, I'm a big fan of it. And it's actually been really beneficial for our store. Just, the access to people like yourself that, we can do this regularly. And, from a company perspective, it's definitely going to allow you to transition some of that money that was spent on having people driving all over the state to focused on what's important, which is the product and the core elements of the education.
100%. Yeah, like what we're doing is focusing on how to educate the bud tenders, which I think is really, really, I mean, they're the tip of the spear. They engage with the patients. You know, even if you're just doing curbside, you're still having to interact and engage. And then as far as the demos go, I mean, I remember the days when we first started the brand back in 2015. I did 90% of our demos as the marketing director for the company, you know, and like you start small and you kind of build it and grow it. And, you know, I miss our brand ambassadors. We had a really strong core team. I think, you know, there's some demos that are kind of going to come back social distancing style. So I'm excited to bring back some of the core group there because they're really, you know, staunch supporters and they love the brand and they really love the work that they were doing with us. But ultimately, you know, being able to come on and do the IG live and like connect with people, I think it's really cool. It's really important. So.
Yeah, that's great. So you mentioned you started working with Legion of Bloom in 2015. So you're pretty OG.
Yeah, well, I'm one of the founders of the company too. So we, you know, me and 5 of my friends, we got together. We were all, you know, farmers in the medical market prior to the passing of Prop 64, and we kind of, I mean, I'd say we saw the writing on the wall, but you know, we were looking at what it would mean to start a brand. You know, we'd been cultivators, and we kind of had branded ourselves to an extent, but we also knew that, you know, having a solid, strong brand that really came from value and came from a value that understood and knew cannabis. I mean, I think between me and my 4 other founders, we've got over 60 years of cultivation experience between us.
Wow.
We've been, not to say we've been in the game for years, but we've been doing this for a pretty long time. And ultimately a lot of it shifted. You know, we don't do all, we have a cultivation facility in Oakland, but like, we're not all cultivators anymore. You know, I pretty much manage and run the marketing for the company.
Right.
And then all of my founders have different like key director roles in the organization. So we've really been, you know, growing this. It's a mom and pop Northern California company. Been based up here forever. Man, we missed the demos too. Sorry, yeah. SFC 415, good looking out.
Yeah, for sure.
But ultimately, you know, it's a labor of love, and we've been in cannabis for a long time, and we've been through a whole lot as a company. You know, we lost our farm in 2017 to the wildfires in Sonoma County. We had about an acre of outdoor, and ultimately, like, if you don't have grit and perseverance, you're not really going to make it as an entrepreneur. And we've kind of had to learn that the hard way, and we're trying to play the long game over here with Legion. You know, just consistently bringing quality products to the market. So,
yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, the fact that you yourself have cultivation experience, your entire team has cultivation experience, the fact that you understand that it is a feminine divine plant. I mean, the fact that you understand how much love goes into and how much labor goes into just 1 pound being produced. You know what I mean?
100.
That's what makes you separate from a lot of, and if for anyone on here that's been, you know, kind of familiar with the industry since it became legal in California recreationally, you've seen a lot of people come in hot and drop off real quick. And most of that was due to the fact that they had absolutely no experience in cannabis. They had some money, they knew they liked weed, and something cool was going to happen. So they wanted to get in on it. Well, if you don't understand how this plant works, and you don't understand how to cultivate, and you don't understand what supply chain in cannabis actually is, you're not going to be successful. And if you don't have the end game mentality, knowing that this isn't just going to happen overnight, you're definitely not going to be successful. So that's a big testament to your group, that you all have cultivation experience. And then as it grew, you kind of developed into your roles that, you know, you needed to fulfill while you got bigger.
Yep. And we all have like history in different places. Like my degree was in film and video production. So like by default, you know, like I got into cultivation. I was a vagabond traveling the country in my 20s. Like, I know what it's like to have absolutely nothing. I've been basically self-imposed homeless, like living on the streets, sleeping out of my car, going to different shows and like experiencing the country. And then, you know, in my late 20s, I got into cultivating cannabis and never really used my degree. And then we started the brand, and they're just like, oh, you have a degree in this? Okay, well, you're the marketing guy, right? And so since then, it's been basically 5-year MBA of me, you know, really pushing myself to really uncomfortable places to learn and grow and just kind of become a bigger, better person. I thought I'd be a farmer for the rest of my life, and the fact that my friends have been able to kind of push me into like expanding on who I am as a person. I mean, I think that's what I think is really great about about being an entrepreneur, and also like cannabis in general. It's the market is definitely ever changing, but we've tried to stay really pure to this ethos. Like, we want to create, when we were farmers, we wanted to create products that we would be happy to share with our friends and family, and the same is true with what we produce at a Legion of Bloom. It's always been about, the product, high quality product, the patient first. We come from a medical background, so we still, even though there's not really, I mean, there is medical, but like, we still think about patients over consumers, and customers. And I mean, I think that's something that has really allowed us to kind of just, like I said, continue to persevere and produce really high quality products for years.
Yeah.
So
I think the YSL routes just, I mean, family, like what you're describing is it's family. And then the fact that the people around you have pushed you to grow, the fact that cannabis itself has pushed you to grow, that's a pretty cool statement, because, that's what it's intended to do. I mean, whether it's being used as a medicine or as a social recreational thing, it really pushes you, you know what I mean? And not in a negative way. I'm not saying like pushing you into something, but it elevates your mind. It elevates your healing, your lymphatic system, your endocannabinoid system. It pushes your body to do things that without it couldn't do, which I think is it's pretty badass.
yeah, I mean, 100. We were talking about the long game, and we definitely think about the Legion of Bloom as like running a marathon. I run marathons and I smoke cannabis, and I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that I do on on the physical side without the plant. I give a lot to the plant when it comes to that. And in general, like, for us, like I said, the Legion of Bloom, it's really about trying to build a family. We try to treat everyone like family, but we really try to like hold each other accountable like a professional sports team. So it's like,
Yeah.
your family will let you kind of slide by. If you're a key player on a professional sports team, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, your team members are going to hold you accountable when you drop the ball. And that's kind of what we try to do over here. Everyone at Legion spins mini plates. And sometimes things don't always get executed the way they're supposed to, but at the end of the day, it's like, we just keep picking each other up, holding each other accountable, getting better and better every single day. So,
well, that's really important. I mean, that kind of like having that family and basically, coming from 5 farmers that really cared about the plant, that wanted to take it to the next level, having those actionable meetings, having those little project management things in place so that things actually get done. That's what's made you be able to be alive and be on shelves today. You know what I mean? It's like passion for the plant can only take you so far.
yeah, you got to be able to execute.
Yeah, you got to be able to execute. And then, like, for me, those are the people that really do love the plant and really do love what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's really important to execute and to put a plan behind things, because everything can be fun, but if you really care about it and having an impact on patients and having accessible cannabis and having it be bigger than just the bubble of Northern California, which is something that a lot of the people watching this, or a lot of the conversations we have, just a friendly reminder, we live in a bubble, and we live in a very nice bubble, because you go a couple states over and this beautiful world of cannabis does not exist. You know what I mean? Just as a friendly reminder to people, there's been a lot of work, especially from Northern California, from people like Legion of Bloom, that have made it even possible for us to walk around and smoke a joint. So with that being said, I always like to remind people, like, we are in a bubble, and I want that bubble to grow, but that bubble's not going to grow unless we have people taking action, showing up on time, and paying respect to the plant that's gotten us here this far.
Yep, 100%.
So with that being said, what were some of the first, was flower what you first started out with, or was it cartridges?
Oh, you mean as a brand? So, no, we launched. So as a brand, we put. I mean, I think it was in the beginning, like, as farmers, we were still producing flowers. So there was like our strains going into our medical partners, kind of unbranded, right? Because like the branding didn't really happen until like 2018 is when everything really got really dialed in. I think we launched our first product in 2016. That was our Monarch cartridge line,
which we carry.
Yeah, and it really started with us really starting to dabble into extracting terpenes from cannabis. We use a solventless steam distillation process to extract high quality terpenes from strain specific cannabis genetics. And, it was in 2016 when like the hardware really changed. It wasn't about wick systems. That was the first year that a wickless cartridge system came out. And, you know, my chief procurement officer, my product designer, another one of my co-founders, he had already been kind of playing with, you know, formulations for cartridges, and, you know, our extract director who now manages cultivation over in Oakland, you know, he had been playing with one of his friends on extracting terpenes. And so we kind of put together our first terpene extraction and the first terpene extractor. And then from there, it was a game changer, because once you could take, you know, real cannabis derived terpenes, like straight from a specific genetic, put it into a high quality, high potent cannabis oil, put it in a wickless cartridge. And then, you know, we were one of the first, the Monarch was one of the first cartridges to really hit the mass market that could hit those 78 to 85% THC ratios and still have that 100% derived from cannabis strain specific feeling and effect. And that's kind of, I mean, to be honest, that put us on the map. It's like the perfect entrepreneurial storm, right? Like timing, you can have an amazing product, but timing is everything. And I think, you know, being able to come in early in 2016 and show that the Legion mint quality, it's paid off in spades for us in the future, as we've been through so many trials and tribulations to get to 2020. But people always knew that when you bought Legion, you were getting a high quality product. And it started with that. It started with our focus in terpene extraction. So.
Yeah, that's cool. And I mean, as you've seen everything, you know, the shift to distillate, right? The shift to like no flavor, super jacked up THC percentages. You guys had always kind of been plant focused. I mean, and you were able to capture, you know, high THC levels, but also have a proper terpene profile. The process, your extraction process you just mentioned. So is that a CO2 extraction process? You mentioned steam. That's something I haven't heard yet.
Yeah, so we're basically using water vapor to extract terpenes. It's old science. You know, our terpene extraction process has iterated itself from 2015 to 2020. I mean, these days we're playing with the atmosphere in around what's going on in the extractor, to where like we're boiling water at close to room temperature, and so like we're able to capture like really high quality terpene profiles, really, really, really like the high notes, you know what I mean, and really get that it's a full spectrum extraction of the terpenes, and then we're reintroducing that into just a very high potent cannabis extract. And so what happens is, after we extract the terpenes and that material goes off for it to go into the actual cannabis extraction, where we get the oil that then the terpenes get reintroduced into. So yeah, I mean, the terpene extraction for the Monarch it's as pure as it gets. It's water vapor capturing the essence of cannabis, and then we just take that essence and put it back into a high potent cannabis oil. So
that's cool. So it's not butane or CO2. It's actually slow steam.
Yeah, the terpene extraction is all slow steam. The cannabis extract is going to be through it's a distillation process. So it's, you know, there's so many ways to skin that cat as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to extract cannabinoids, you kind of have to use a solvent, you know. With our terpenes, we're using water. Technically water, is it solventless? Is it solvent free? Like, water is the universal solvent if you go back to biology, but at the end of the day, it's not a solvent when it comes to cannabis. So it's a solventless extraction. It's just, like I said, it's just steam capturing the essence of a plant. Similar to the way you would extract essential oils for aromatherapy. We're just doing it, you know, with cannabis strains. So
yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah,
no, they are delicious. I don't have any with me. So I'm in Mexico right now, and I brought two things down with me, and I'm really good at giving things away. And one of them was a Monarch, was Legion of Bloom pen, which you guys have the beautiful case for your pens. And yep, right there you go. What do you have right there?
What is the? God, this is the 1 gram. So this is going to be, what is our hybrid 1 gram right now? We have a couple of them. I think this one was the the Mendo Brezza Indica dragon fruit. This is the dragon fruit.
Nice.
So I think that one's off the menu already. So they come and go pretty quickly sometimes when they get extracted from cannabis. There's only so, you know, it comes
well, yeah. I mean, and you guys are only using quality product, which that's a good thing, because it's for consumers or patients. You know, if you see somebody that's consistently putting out, you know, like if they're only putting out Blue Dream and they're only focused on that, you know, it's kind of, if you look at behind the scenes, and I'm not saying anything about Blue Dream in particular, but the fact that you guys have it's making the fact that you guys have kind of not a revolving door, but you have a fresh list of terpene profiles and flavor profiles and strains that are coming out. To me, that says that you're using the freshest product you have.
100. Yeah. And we have strong farm partners too. We're working with Humboldt Trees, based out of Humboldt County. Got a lot of Northern California farmers that we get extract material from to do the terpene extractions. And then, we have the indoor cultivation facility that just came online in Oakland, which, that again it's pretty cool. It's LED technology. We're using 100% California produced renewable energy. When it's 100% operational, it's about 50% operational right now. It's 100% operational. It will collect 90% of the water that it uses from runoff and from the HVAC and dehumidification system. So like, we're really trying. One thing about us at Legion too is like, we're founded by farmers. We love the planet, and like we're trying to figure out, how do you use cannabis as medicine? How do you use cannabis for recreation? But then also, how do you do cannabis in the most sustainable way possible? And sometimes we like to say sustainability is a journey. So you're not like just going to come off the gate and it's going to be 100% as good as it can be for the planet. And I think a lot of that was shown with packaging regulations early on. We're really excited. We're going to be plastic free with our packaging. I think in the next 4 weeks, we'll be 100% plastic free with all of our packaging. So we're like that with packs. We did that last year. And then I've been working on a project. It's another thing that I've been doing is, revamping our packaging. So that way for Q2 of 2020, we can be plastic free with all of our cartridge lines too. So
man, that's badass. And that's a hard thing to do. Just to touch on, for those of you that are watching now or in the future, the packaging regulations, whether you're in Oregon, Washington, California, whether you're in any legal state, they're a bitch. And they change they'll change the rules on you in like a month.
It could change tomorrow, man.
It could change tomorrow, and they wouldn't even. You'll get an email, and it's like, okay, this is no longer acceptable, and it's like, well, I just dropped off, $10,000 worth of products, and so you're telling me, and you have to adjust. So some of the things like you're talking about, the nitty gritty and the work that you guys have been putting to it, the fact that you're getting to a place where you can be plastic free is really huge.
And I can tell you, I wanted it to be that way sooner, but sometimes when you can't just burn the plastic you have either. You can't just burn the packaging you have either. Like when you're sitting on X amount of units and you got to kind of get through it, that kind of dictates your burn. Not to get into like the business model, but your burn rates dictate. Your burn rates and what you have in supply chain dictates when you can make moves and when you can make changes. So
yeah, absolutely. And we're all, at the end of the day, like you just said, 2018 was like the first real branded year. You know what I mean? That was only 2 years ago. Like this is all very new. I kind of revolve back to that, bubble that we're in, but this is all brand new, and the regulations are brand new, and the work that's going into it is brand new. But what's really stuck out to me, and one of the biggest reasons like we love to have you on our shelves, is you guys have a crew, and like you focused on, the farmers and the cultivators that you have creating product for Legion of Bloom. It's not just one person or one grow. It's not like this, like, oh, we dominate this thing. Like it definitely is a family vibe, which to me is a cannabis vibe. So talk to me a little bit about the partners you have, because to me that's really impressive. The fact that multiple farmers like want to cultivate for Legion of Bloom, that's cool.
Yeah, it just comes like right now. Humboldt Trees is a huge huge partner for us. They've got, I think it's almost 2 acres up in Humboldt. They're about 2,700 feet. It's a lot of light depth greenhouse, old Dutch style greenhouse, living beds. They do some outdoor long season. They've been, we were with them. We did collaborations with them. That's right, fire, Humboldt Trees, fire. Yeah. We did collaborations with them at Emerald Cup this year. The banjo cartridge that we did with them was like 3rd place in the distillate cartridge category with the Monarch. We've worked with companies like Ridgetop Botanicals in the past. They did, their first place. We did 1st place with them for their sour diesel strain. There's a lot of it has to do with just the supply and demand. The farms do different things at different times, and my procurement officer, he's kind of the wizard, man. He kind of keeps all those relationships going, and it's not just right now we focus on 1 or 2 farms and having really strong relationships there, but the material is constantly coming in. And the idea for what we really wanted to do with the Legion is like really create a Legion, like
Yeah.
the farmers are going to need the support of the brands. And like, we have to figure out how to have like very symbiotic relationships with each other in order to really survive. And if we're not, I mean, if you're not careful, it just becomes commoditized. And that's where like having a strong brand is super important. But like, like you mentioned, a lot of people think they can come in and just dump money into cannabis, but they don't realize that if you don't have strong relationships and you blow your business models out of the water and you can't pay your bills to your farmers, like, it's kind of hard to keep putting product on the shelf. So
Yeah, it's really hard. And I guess like diversification would be a business word you could put towards it. But it's just the fact that you guys are you're coming at this from a like, hey, how do we create a collective of the best? You know what I
sure.
mean? It's not about
It,
me. It's
yeah.
about us. And like, how do we create something that can feed us, which I respect a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, and it's always going to kind of ebb and flow, and there's going to be strong players and people are going to come in. I mean, there are farm partners that we were working with in 2016 that like, unfortunately, they didn't make it through the funnel, man. And the funnel keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And, we're here to really try to add value to the people that we work with, but also like create a space where we can help the farmers kind of succeed. It's the same kind of model that, Inmore Family Farms has been doing an amazing job with. It's like, you gotta work with the farmers in order to succeed in this industry. And that's something that I think a lot of people just didn't really understand when they were just kind of trying to spin their brands out. So
yeah, and not only succeed, but make it long living. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Without the farmers, we don't have shit. So
built to
like
last.
if you don't like, these are the people that, and if you don't respect them and like bring them into the loop, they can just straight up be like, all right, cool, we're not going to do this. You know what I mean? And like, and that's the reality of it. So there's a lot of people that have come into this and, approach the farmers of like, okay, you produce the product, you make it, but it's like, it's way more than that. You know what I mean? That relationship with the farmer, that legion that you guys are creating, that's what's going to make this sustainable. That's what's going to allow this, for them to grow into other states so that they can educate people in Michigan how to properly grow. They can educate people in other states that are going to be coming online that have absolutely no experience growing cannabis. You know what I mean? Like, that's important. Like, creating a layer of service, and then also putting money into the pockets of the farmers, that's going to allow them to expand, which is going to create better cannabis all across the country. Like, thinking long term, like that's going to give them a platform for them to, be able to be comfortable with the fact that what they have had growing for the past, some of them 30, 40, 50 years in Northern California, can be expanded into other areas, and the tribute and the heritage of how that plant is grown can continue on.
Yeah, I mean, well said. Like I said, in general, like the work that's been done in Northern California is kind of it's the backbone of what's going on in cannabis in general. I mean, you can't have cannabis in America without what's been happening in Northern California since the 60s. And
Yeah.
ultimately, it's been a long battle. I mean, to think about that, like 80 years, we've kind of been fighting the good fight, a lot of it underground, a lot of it above ground, just to get to the point where, I mean, I'm helping to run an essential business in California, right? And it took a pandemic, and I don't want to like carp too much on it, but it took a pandemic to go from, basically illegal in 4 years to
Essential.
an essential business in California in 2020. So it's definitely elevated eighth. What's
What
up?
up?
Sorry,
Yeah.
gotta give out a little bit of love. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's been a long road to get to this point. It's still, I mean, we're not even done yet, man. The marathon is still going. It's one foot in front of the other, day in and day out. Continuing to add value to places like California Street, and like, we can't do it. Like, we talked about the farmers, it's a must need, right? The high quality brands that have a sustainable mindset, that are thinking about the future and not thinking about just where the next exit strategy looks like. That's needed in cannabis if you want to have a culture in cannabis. And then, going all the way down to the retailers, you need places like California Street that are going to be there, that really respect the patients, that really understand their community and try to give back to that space between. Because like, retail is kind of what's needed. That's how you make the connection with cannabis now. You go into like you said, you want to provide a space where people feel comfortable to come in and experiment, to find what works for them, to get the cannabis experiences that they need to really like persevere and expand themselves as humans on the planet. And that's what I think that's where I think cannabis is moving toward, especially when the walls come down and other states are able to experience like the I keep saying experiences, but have the same experiences at California Street that can curate for your patients and for your customers, so.
Yeah, and that's so important and elevated. I want to get to that question, but it's so important, like as a retailer, for us to, our last blog post that we wrote about, it's like we support the local ecosystem. I mean, I'd say 95% of our products come from within 200 miles of our store. And that's super important to us because not only environmentally is it important, but it's also paying homage to where this shit started. And it started in Northern California. And these are the people that have been putting in the work. So we're really proud to be carrying you. But Elevated Eighth on the question. Any new pods coming out?
Yeah, I answered on text while you were speaking. So we got
cool.
The Black Cherry Punch is going to be one of the new strain specific pods that come out. Excited about that. Another indica, so we'll kind of keep it mellow. We're going to be launching, if anyone's tried the California sauce pods, we're going to be launching though. We're going to have multiple SKUs of that. In the past, we've only had one SKU at a time, but I think we've got a new lemonade that's coming out on that. We've got lemon cake, lemonade, Sunday driver, all in the California sauce pods. Strain specific pods. I mean, we're able to kind of keep those pretty consistent because we're using all natural plant terpenes there. So they're not the same terpenes that are going to be in the Monarch. They're actually, we use our cannabis terpene extracts to like create a blueprint. And then we use over 40 to 50 all natural plant terpenes to like recreate that strain specific profile. And that's kind of what you get with the strain specific pods. It's super consistency. So people that find that 10K jacket they like, or the lavender kush, those are two fan favorites at the Legion. You can always have those. And then with the Monarch, you get those strain specific cannabis derived terpenes. With the California sauce, I know we're kind of talking product now, but that's all live resin. So it's a live resin sauce. So you kind of get that hydrocarbon dab-like taste,
Yeah, give me I have my own anecdote for the difference between distillate or CO2 extracted oil, which you guys don't use, but give me the difference between live resin and your distillate, strain specific oils.
Yeah, so I mean the difference is with the live resin, you definitely get it's louder in that dab-like way. So like I like to say it's like live over cured, right? So like with the live resin, you really get something that tastes the way like a live resin dabs taste, right? So with the California sauce, it's going to be like pulling a dab out of your pocket, right? Like it's in a cartridge form. We're using HTE sauce, so it's like really terpy, really high terpene levels. With the Monarch, because it's extracted from cured cannabis, as opposed to extracted from living cannabis, what you get is more of that taste that you expect when you smoke like that first hit on the joint, that first hit of a green bowl, that like cured terpene experience. So it's slightly different. Like with the Monarch, what you get is yes, it's mixed in with a high potency triple refined distillate oil, which is great because it's 0 ppm solvents. So you have a 0 ppm solvent-free distillate mixing in with a completely solventless, so 0 ppm terpene. So what you get with the Monarch is you get a cured cannabis experience, but you're getting a 100% 0 ppm, no residual solvents whatsoever in that product. Where with live resin, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can't take the residual solvents out of it. So I think like the biggest difference between those two is like, one, you get that living flavor. So if you've ever smelled cannabis when it's alive, it's a little bit different than when you smell cannabis after it's cured. So that's kind of what I like to say is the difference between those product lines. You're still going to get a very full spectrum strain specific entourage effect and feeling. But when you get into like the live resin stuff, there's always going to be, and the state allows for small amounts of residual solvents. So, I mean, it's definitely safe for human consumption. But if you're someone that really is looking for the purest and the cleanest, that's where you go with our cannabis derived terpenes, solventless extract with a very high quality distillate oil. And then, with the live resin, I mean, you're just going to get the dabs on the go. And like, I mean, I don't know, man, it's hard for me because I'm I guess a true connoisseur. So I like them both, but I like dabbing when I need to really separate the headspace. But, at the end of the day, I think the cartridges are great in general, no matter which one you choose, because you can kind of sip on a cartridge. So you can get that flavor, you can get that feeling, but you don't necessarily have to put your head in the clouds 100% like you do with, with the dab. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I was curious about, your relationship with PAX. Like, how did that, how did that come about? And um, is there a difference in the oil? Is that going to be the cannabis derived terpenes similar to the Monarch that you have in the PAX pods?
No, so with the PAX, the relationship with PAX is like they launched in California, I think with Bloom Farms. They were the first brand on PAX, and then they reached out to us pretty late in 2016, early in 2017, and we came on as the second filling partner for the PAX Era platform. And
Cool.
with PAX, we wanted to kind of create a distinction between our cartridge Monarch line and then have a consistency for the PAX line. So that's where we work with a sister lab. They know terpenes really, really well. They have access to 99.9% pure, FDA approved for human consumption terpenes. And then, like I said, what we're doing is we'll select a strain for the effect and the feeling that it gives. We'll do the terpene extraction. We analyze that terpene extraction. So now we know, okay, these are the 60 terpenes that are in this strain. These are the percentages that they come in at. And then we work with the sister organization. They actually produce our terpene profiles for our use. So they'll take the same terpenes you'll find in that cannabis strain, but they'll use the terpenes that come from other natural plant sources. So, myrcene from hops, lanolin from lavender, and then they'll help us to craft and recreate those terpenes, those same terpene percentages that you find in the strain, into a profile that we use. So, when we'll say cannabis-derived terpenes, that's 100% from a specific strain, 100% derived from cannabis. And then when we say terpene profiles, what we actually mean are terpenes that come from other natural plant sources, but you're getting 40 plus terpenes. So you're really experiencing that strain and experiencing that flavor
Yeah.
on a consistent level. So the difference is that we don't have to rotate the strains so much. So
Right.
with the PAX strain-specific pods, you get, when you love that 10K Jack, you can find that 10K Jack, right? We always we slowly launch and we rotate through different strains, so that way we
Yeah.
kind of have a little bit of variety. But with the strain-specific PAX pods in particular, it's really about trying to provide consistency for the menu. And then we also have the California sauce pods and the California sauce cartridge.
Yeah, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan
and,
of those.
and that's the exact same formula across the board. One just comes in our 510 threaded cartridge, and the other one comes in the PAX pod. So it's about, what device do you like the best? And the sauce, I think we got second place this year in the live resin cartridge category at Emerald Cup with the cartridges, but ultimately
Congrats.
it's the exact same. Thank you. Much respect to Emerald Cup and all the connoisseurs and the judges there, but it was definitely for us. We've been through a lot to get to 2019, and to be honored like that with three top three awards at the Emerald Cup, it definitely was. We do it all for the love, man. But it's nice when you get recognized like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, it is, and it's not. This is an industry, and it's funny, like I attended like the High Times Awards in LA last year, and it's just funny to see the mixing of cultures that are happening. But when I went to Emerald Cup, back in November, it was I think November 16th roughly.
yep.
It's real. It's definitely northern. You know what I mean? It's the growers. People are trading seeds. People are trading clones. It's back to that roots. It's not so much you're getting an award for having the best advertisement. It's like you're getting an award for having the best fucking product, and
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, I actually got a little Pai Gao, which is, from what I can know, it's a Super Silver Haze, Jack Herrera, Critical Jack. Like it's a
What do you
really,
think?
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I just got one clone, and it turned in. We named her Disco Biscuit because we had her the whole weekend, where we had her the whole day at Emerald Cup, and she was just partying with us. And I yielded like almost 2 pounds from it, just growing it, outdoor. And
You didn't take cuts off of it to save for a mother?
I got seven cuts off of it.
That's
Off
what's
of
up.
it. And it's a beautiful purple, really nice sativa. I'm really excited. It's got a little bit more curing to do, but it's tasty. Yeah, man. So there's a few comments on here. Like, you clearly know your stuff, which is something we appreciate, and something I want to call out. Just the fact that it is, it's a Legion of Bloom. You guys are really focused on creating a community. You're focused on creating a network, that is feeding itself, which is feeding the future of this industry. Like I want to give respect to that, because there's a lot of me, and people trying to be like, we're the best. I have, you know how many people have walked into my shop and been like, I have the best fucking this or that. It's like, no one has the best. I mean, like you want to show me the best,
It's
like
a very subjective statement, my
it's a
friend.
very subjective statement. Like, do
Yeah.
not lead with that. You know what I mean? And you guys come from a place of like, look, we have the, like, our growers and the people that we work with are long-standing. Your group alone has 60 plus years of cultivation between the five of you, and you love the plant. And like, that's like coming from that place, that means a lot to us as a store.
Well, I love hearing that because I think, it's just for us, it's always been important. And it's really about playing the long game. It always has been. And we knew that, we've been, gosh, we bootstrapped it in the very beginning. We've been self-funded for pretty much our entire existence. We have a small minority partner now that we brought
Wow.
in right after the farm burnt down. And if we couldn't find someone that was willing to see the value in what we were doing, we wouldn't be here, man. And like, at the end of the day though, like, we're playing the long game. We can't grow infinitely overnight. We have to like slowly and steady grow this thing, because you have to kind of like, got to live within the wheels that you have, man. You got to live within the confines that you can produce and you can grow. And if you get ahead of your feet, you fall face forward. You know what I mean? If you get too far behind, it kind of moves.
Yeah.
Moves past you. So we're it's definitely a fine line of what we're trying to do here. But ultimately, it comes down to integrity, trust, providing a high quality product, consistency, so that when people know Legion, they know that what they're getting is high, not the highest quality, but they're getting really, really, really good cannabis. And that's kind of
Yeah.
what we've always focused on. We try to let the product speak for itself, and kind of let the Legion grow, right? Like, it starts with
Yeah.
it starts with the farmers, but ultimately everyone's a part of the Legion. And we invite everyone to join the Legion and taste the difference. Join the Legion. We like to say that. So
Yeah, I think taste the difference is a great way to go about it. So I want to be respectful of your time and everyone's time. But if you were to share, if you were talking to a bud tender, or if you were doing a traditional demo day, an in-store talking to a consumer or a patient, what are the two things you would definitely want them to take away from your conversation?
well, to start, it's about being founded by farmers. Like, it's kind of catchy, but we like to say that too. We're founded by farmers, so we know cannabis. And the second thing is, we are always asking ourselves, would I share this with my family? Would I share this with my mother, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother? Like, these are the questions. Like, if the answer isn't yes, there's no
Yeah.
reason to produce it, man. Like, I'm all about creating something that helps people. I'm all about creating something that adds value to people's lives. And ultimately, it's really easy to cut corners in this industry. It's really easy to let flash kind of like run what you're doing, and
Yeah.
for us, it's always been, how do we consistently bring something to the market that we know we love it, we know we'll use it. We've all been cultivating for years, so if we'll all use it, I imagine there are other people that'll like it too. Like, if we like it, someone else is going to like it. And we've always kind of tried to use ourselves as kind of a filter for that. And we've always asked ourselves, like I said, would I give this to my mother, man? Because like, if you
Yeah.
can't say yes to that, then there's like, what are you making it for?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's funny you say that. One of the things when people come into our store, and when I'm behind the shelf, when I'm actually selling, it's one of our things. Like, any product on our shelves, I would give my mom. Any product on our shelves, I would personally take. So that's a huge, you know what I mean? For you to bring that up, I think that's a really important thing, because I know there's a lot of people that can't say that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of products out there that look really flashy, but are total crap. So, for you guys to be, you're founded by farmers.
Yeah.
And, I like the way you worded it. You said, it's not the highest quality, highest potency. It's good, and it's consistently good. You know
And
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
I like it. I just don't want to sit here and say it's the best, because it's just
Right.
really high. It's the highest quality that we can produce, man. That's what we're always
Yeah.
trying to,
It's
we're always,
honest.
yeah, we're always trying to be honest and transparent with what we do, man, 100%. And it's all about giving the consumer what they want. And ultimately, a lot of times we found it's not about giving them the highest priced product. So you have to find this nice fine line of like, how do you create a quality product that people can afford to consume, that I mean, we like to say it will blow your hair. You know, we're still trying to blow your hair back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, no, it blows it when I take a rip of it, I'm good. Like I wish I had some with me right now. And we got kind of carried away. We forgot to even talk about, the Legion Cares Compassion Program, which we just rolled out this week.
Word.
Yeah, give me a little bit about that. I mean,
Yeah,
I know everything about it, but let's talk about it.
yeah. So I mean, the idea here is if times are tough, everyone's struggling. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're running essential business by the seat of your pants, like over here at the Legion of Bloom, or if you're just like struggling to make ends meet because of the pandemic, because of everything that's going on in the world and in California, a lot of people have been affected by this in many, many ways. And what we wanted to try to do is how can we kind of give back? How can we do something where people can have the quality cannabis experience they need at hopefully an affordable price for them, right? So the idea is if you buy 2 Legion products or more, you'll get 20% off
Yep.
every single Legion product across the board. So it's all of our cartridge lines. So our California sauce, our strain specific pods, our California sauce pods, our Monarch cartridges. You buy 2, you get 20% off. You buy 3, you get 20% off. You buy 4, you get 20% off, all the way
Yep.
up. And the idea here is, we don't want people to have to make a sacrifice out of their because of the price point. I mean, there's definitely you've said it, there's a lot of products out there that are cheaper than Legion, but they're not going to be the same quality that you're going to get, and they're not going to
No.
give you that same experience that you're looking for. And so ultimately what we're trying to do is right now, while times are tough and the economy is kind of in this spiral that it's in, how can we give back? And it's something that it's not as much as I'd like, but this is what we can do. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
and it is a lot though. That's the thing, people, and I gotta say, it is the margins of profit in cannabis right now are really tough. Whether you're a producer or you're a retailer or you're a farm, any of it, it's tough. So that 20%, man, if it was Starbucks offering 20% off a latte, yeah, that's whatever. But that 20% is essentially your entire margin. So I just want to drive that home. You know what I mean? Like the compassion program that, Legion Cares that you guys are not just with our store, with other, but at our store specifically, you buy any 2 Legion products, you're going to get 20% off for the remainder of the products that you get. And that's, essentially Legion giving you over all of all of what they would be making off of that purchase. And that's, that comes from the heart. So I want to emphasize that I would obviously love to be given, I'd love to mark everything off 50% because it would make everything way more affordable. But the way things are structured right now with taxes and the way things, even for retail, all of it, that 20% isn't a little. That's solid, and we really appreciate that.
well, yeah, man, I definitely respect I respect you saying that. And like I said, we're just trying to do what we can for right now. I think this is going to go through July, so
Yeah.
this is going to be something ongoing for the next 4 or 5 weeks for everyone, and hopefully it adds the value that people need so they can continue to not just support Legion of Bloom, but just support quality cannabis experiences. I think it's super important. So
Yeah.
I'd be remiss to say Happy Pride for everyone out there. I'm wearing
Oh
my
yeah.
Be a Force for Good PAX Pride T-shirt. So
Yeah.
happy Pride Day for everybody, and this too shall pass, and we'll get through this, and
Yeah.
cannabis will be kind of a big part of that for everyone. We can't share cannabis like we used to. I can't wait for the days that we can pass joints again. But ultimately, cannabis does so much for bringing us together, and it's the little things that'll go a long way while everyone's kind of keeping their distance and trying to be respectful of everyone else. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. Big shout out to Pride. I mean, it's been an interesting month, but to anybody out there that's a little bit different or whatever, much love to you. And I know Troy probably echoes that statement. We have a lot of love here at California Street Cannabis. Legion of Bloom is full of love. This is by farmers, for patients, for consumers. It's top quality product. You can find it at our store. We're right here in Nob Hill in San Francisco in California and Hyde. You can check everything out on our menu. Troy, is there anything else you want to say?
dude, fly your freak flags, fam. It's like
Hell yeah.
it's California. I mean, California cannabis. It's we've been fighting a good fight for a long time, and it's just like I said, happy to be in a state and a place that thinks that cannabis is essential.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being anywhere else at this moment in time, man. So I appreciate you, Sebastian, for having me on. And I know we went a little longer than we expected, but I mean, when you're in the middle of it, having good vibes and good conversations, the time does fly. So
Yeah, all good, man. And you know your shit, which is much appreciated on my end. Because like I said, I just want to, for everyone listening now or in the future, this is a group of farmers that came together that wanted to make an impact, and they have. So I hope you guys, you know, we'll keep supporting you, and I see some light at the end of the tunnel for everybody. So I wish you the best. I send safe and safekeeping vibes your way, because we're all on edge. And if you guys need anything that's going to change your mind a little bit or get you elevated a little bit or just relax, definitely come check out some of the Legion of Boom products at our store. And yeah, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Troy from Legion of Bloom. I'm Sebastian from California Street Cannabis Company. Much love and happy Pride.
yeah, big ups, King. Thanks for having me on.
Peace.
Ciao.